I have with me my brother, my man, my friend, Coach Arnell Milton, Coach Mega Man. He's a father, he's a coach, he's a trainer. He's just an all-around basketball connoisseur, if you will. He's a mentor to a lot of the youth, not just in the Lower East Side where he's from, but all over the city. I would like to give a warm welcome once again to my man, Arnell Milton. Yeah, I can't believe I did that, bro.
Yo, no worries, man. We keep it going. We keep it going. Once
Yeah,
again, thank
man.
you for having me again. I appreciate it. Happy to be here. You know, love the intro. Love what you're doing with the show. We talked about that already. Let's get into this.
Yeah,
And also
definitely.
let me start like how I wanted to start before. Like rest in peace to Shane. Like I said, a beautiful young man that we just recently lost. Like I said, I'm not getting into details because I don't know them. But he's a good kid. He was well loved, and I just kind of feel for him and his family, especially his dad. His dad was a good dude, so just know everyone keep their thoughts and prayers on the family. As we move on, and hopefully we do some things in his name and his honor.
Yeah, like I also said, like I never absolutely got the opportunity to meet him, to my knowledge. But yeah, it's just a sad situation anytime you hear anything regarding our youth. And yeah, like I just touched on in 134 Park the other day, I think it was Tuesday. We actually released balloons in the AFM. Said our goodbyes to him. A few people spoke about him, and he was just an all around great young man. What everybody was saying is just sad, and yeah, just love goes out to his family, to his father. I know it's a tough time right now. So yeah,
Yeah,
R.I.P. Shane, man.
most def, most def.
But yeah, let's get into this, man. So yeah, back to it. We talking COVID-19. We talking city shut down. Summer's at a loss. And I know you had some stuff lined up. So let's talk about what you had lined up. Because I know you just touched on it. But what did you have lined up and how depressed are
Um,
you right now?
I mean, not super depressed is unfortunate, but at the end of the day, as I say, it just comes from someone that's a sports fanatic. Sports are not, it's a luxury. They're not essential. But on that note, like I had, a couple of events. I had Boston Shootout, but it's be rebranded, renamed into the Battle of New England. I had the New York versus Boston game. I had my AAU season that kind of got cut short. Even though I'm doing a few events now, but it's not the same. I was gonna do two age groups. I'm just doing one now, focusing more on the older guys, trying to get them some looks going into the school year, or get them some film because we don't know what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
Um, what else I had going on? I was gonna do the NBA Jam 2-on-2. Had some other things I was gonna be doing with Nike in the city. So just a lot of things. Supposed to be training and coaching for the MPPA 5-star camp. So I had a lot of things on the plate basketball wise. It just didn't happen, and that's cool because it gave me a chance to kind of sit back, slow down, and kind of observe what's going on in the basketball world and the world in general.
Yeah, well, my
It
last
kind of
interview, my fault for cutting you off. I was saying with my
go,
last
now go ahead,
interview,
I wasn't saying anything
because
that
I
important. Go right
know
ahead.
I know that because I was talking to Brian Gardenhire, so I know that the things that you do and the things that he does, and I had a whole summer off, so I already know. I already know when the get back goes. Oh, I got some stuff cooking up, man. I just can't wait to see exactly how everything rolls out because it's a bad summer, man. It's a bad
Yeah,
summer.
yeah. But we'll bounce back. That's what New Yorkers do. We'll bounce back. We'll
Yeah,
be
nah,
all right.
definitely, definitely,
So,
man. But yeah, so let's get right into it. So I want to give everybody I guess a feel for who Arnell Milton is. Like I grew up with you, so like I know a lot about you, and I just want everybody else to know how good of a person you actually are, the work you've put in, and the I want to say the route you took to get to the position that you're in right now. So let's start off with like the very beginning. To my knowledge, your first sport was baseball. How true was that?
it's 100% true. Pretty
Baseball.
much because, I mean,
Baseball.
I used to play with my dad in catch, hitting and stuff like that. And plus, you usually play the sport that your friends are playing. So all my friends was playing baseball. And this is the funny thing, I had no formal training or anything. I just started playing in the Stuyvesant Town Little League and a couple of little leagues in the area. And I kind of did pretty well early on. So baseball was like my first love. And other sports, track and field, boxing, martial arts, those things I was into when I was younger. I really started taking basketball seriously to probably 13, 14 years old. The first basketball team I ever played on was actually BGR 12U for a PEL tournament that we used to have down here when it was like BGR, Henry Street, both the boys clubs, back in the day. When there was a whole lot of programs on the Lower East Side. We used to have our own tournaments, and then outside teams would come and play in them. So that was like my first taste of organized basketball, and that's because I used to hang out with my friend JC, more like my cousin. He lived on the hill, 65 Jefferson, and he played basketball, so I was hanging out with him all the time. So eventually, just hanging out with him, hanging out with Macho, hanging out with Chris and guys from Compos, I started playing basketball. And once I started playing it, I fell in love with it. But what people don't understand is what I liked about basketball was it was the only sport that wasn't easy for me from jump. Like I was terrible at it. And I think that challenge kind of made me embrace the sport even more because I really had to work on it to be good. Other sports because I was a good gifted athlete. Football, baseball, all that stuff, it was easy for me. Basketball was actually difficult. And one thing I love about basketball is there's so many elements that you can work on. You don't need someone else to work on them. You get a ball, go to the court and work on your footwork, your ball handling, shooting. Baseball, you kind of need someone to throw to you if you're working on your hitting. You got to go to the hitting cage. So I think that's one of the reasons why I kind of separated myself from baseball. I kind of eventually found it boring to play.
Yeah, you could definitely work on your game by yourself when it comes to basketball as opposed to baseball. Baseball it's a tough road when you're trying to work on baseball by yourself. It's funny that you mentioned that in the beginning with basketball, you just wasn't good.
No, right? It's terrible.
Yeah,
it's terrible.
Because it's funny because I just had the same conversation with BG, and I told him it seems like everybody's basketball stories start off the same way. Like everybody that actually turned out to be good, their story starts off the same way. I was bad. I wasn't good at all. So it's just
there's no natural God-given other than my athleticism. But the other problem with that was I was 5'6" at 12. So guys had me playing by the basket because I could jump and I was strong. So I always was kind of behind the 8 ball. And I think that's helped me as a trainer because I had to put the work in. I had to grind. I had to get in the gym to get what I did, to squeeze everything out of the ball that I did. So my mentality, like I said, is different than people because, like I said, I didn't start out just nice. I had to work on it. There's a lot of dudes that was better than me. I eventually overcame. So yeah, and I think I missed on this part. Magic Johnson's the reason why I started playing basketball. Remember them old ESPN NBA Finals tapes he used to put out? So I was just watching him and how happy he was and how engaged. That kind of also made me want to play basketball. Magic Johnson's was the player that inspired me to want to start playing basketball. And then my pops is pretty good. A lot of people don't know that. Pops is actually a legend on the Lower East Side. This thing, he had scholarships to go to St. John's. Things didn't work out. He had a little incident. But yeah, my dad was pretty good, so I used to play with him. I used to watch him destroy people. So that also was an inspiration as well.
Yeah, I've never seen your pops play ball, but just looking at him, it looked like he used to give people the business. He just has that demeanor about him. He used to put in work.
He was a world-class athlete. He was good at everything. He has trophies all over, boxing, track and field, tennis, whatever it was. He was just naturally good at it. And I was like that with everything but basketball.
Okay.
Same thing with Dre. My brother's a natural athlete. He just didn't take anything seriously until he started taking football seriously around junior year in high school.
Yeah, Dre is a good football player. He sucks at basketball. He's a great football player, though.
He's actually okay. He just didn't take. He never took it seriously.
He's a hack.
He never took it seriously.
It hurts to play with him. Period.
Oh, he's strong as hell, man.
Yeah,
he's strong as hell for no reason.
It's not fun at all. But all right. So let's move on. So what high school did you go to? Like, what was your high school career like? How many schools did you go to?
Good question. High school career was pretty good. I mean, I probably would have changed things if I could. I probably wouldn't have went to LaSalle because besides the relationships I had with some of my teammates and classmates, like I feel like I could have done better if I would have probably went to either poly prep or went to prep school off the bat because I had opportunities to go to prep school. Like, and I was in a situation where I had a lot of high schools coming after me out of middle school. I did my thing when I was at 104 Simon Baruch. I think I still have the scoring record there. I had like 77 points in the game. Um, yeah, a lot of steals. We didn't play a good team, so it wasn't a valid 77, but it was 77 nonetheless.
I was getting ready to say it don't matter. Well, didn't Kobe have like 81?
Yeah, but that's against NBA
It
competition
don't. It doesn't
and
matter.
on jump shots. I was literally just stealing the ball and laying it up and saying cookies when that was like the thing to do back in our era. Um, so I had I had pretty much every Catholic school on me. I had multiple public schools on me. I had the opportunity to go away to school if I wanted to. I picked LaSalle mainly because my partner in crime at the time, DG, was going there, Peter was going there, JC was going there. A lot of my guys that I played with, Louis Sauer going. So I was like, yo, if we all team up at LaSalle, we could do things. But I didn't know what type of program LaSalle was until I stepped foot into the school and see what kind of talent they had. But that's the main reason why I went there. It was in the neighborhood. Like I actually had the option to also go to Rice. And Mo Hicks every now and then still gives me shit for that.
Yo,
So
nice. Yo.
So I had options. I was pretty good in middle school.
Yeah, them Rice Raiders though. Woo.
Yeah. I don't like those guys. Like I like them, but I don't. Um, I definitely maybe have a few more city and state championships if it wasn't for them. Add St. Raymond's to that list, but I mean, they had some great. I mean, it was so much talent in the Catholic League back then. Like I could literally say, I played against a lot of guys that eventually made it to the NBA. A lot of McDonald's All-Americans, a lot of like guys that are considered New York legends. And as I always say, I wasn't the nicest dude, but I was in the room.
Yeah.
I was in the room. I was at the table.
Yeah.
I may not be at the VIP section, but I was in the room. You know what I'm
was
saying?
there.
So I got
You
to
was there.
I got to play against some of the best guys ever come out of New York City. And at the time, like I said, we were putting out 2 or 3 McDonald's All-Americans every year. So I think I had a pretty good year. My junior year, I think I could have done better. My senior year, I fell into a little slump because I was getting upset about my recruitment. Because I'm getting like 12, 15 points a game. We beat 3 nationally ranked teams. At that time, the Catholic school was voted the 3rd best high school division in the country. So I'm playing against top competition. I'm not really getting the type of mail I thought I should be getting. And then one day, Lenny Cook comes out of the office with like a bag full of mail. I'm like, damn, Lenny, you got a lot of mail this week. It's like, nah, it's for you and our day. And I just had like a slump. Yeah. I had like a slump for like a few weeks. They actually wound up beating me out of the starting position for a few games. And like right before the playoffs started, I got it back. I actually kind of prefer coming off the bench. There's a little less pressure. Because I didn't feel Bill Aber has a big name, and I'm not trying to throw salt on the wounds or anything like that. But like I didn't feel like he was as good as a coach as people said he was. I felt like leadership wasn't there. As a captain, I didn't have his support. And I felt like because guys weren't getting mail, weren't getting the looks they thought, we all started playing really selfish, like towards the tail end of my senior year. Like guys were just going for themselves, which cost us some games. And then I find out from other guys with LaSalle is Abel wouldn't give you all your mail.
Wow.
And this is one of the reasons why I'm in the game now. Why I do it. This is one of the main reasons why I do what I do. I don't want to ever to have another kid where, and I tell kids all the time, tell parents, it's okay to have your high school coach and your team coach involved in your recruitment. Make sure you're also involved. Make sure those coaches are calling the house. Make sure you know what's going on. Because sometimes like it's a $1 billion business and guys are trying to cut deals for themselves and they're using you as leverage. So like I said, a lot of guys came on the side that were really good that qualified to go into JUCOs. Like that didn't make sense to me.
That makes sense. Yeah, I mean, because some people got only their interests, their best interests in mind.
Yeah.
And yeah, so that's definitely great advice. Like to any young player out there, be involved in your recruitment process. Yeah. Don't rely on your coach, even though you may trust him. Be involved, man. It doesn't hurt to know. It's
Definitely.
your life. You know what I'm saying? It's your life.
Definitely. You got to be involved. you're investing time in this. Let's get you a free education and open up your life to a lot of things. So you got to be on board with that. And one of the red flags was when I was playing AAU with Brooklyn USA, coaches would come to me because this is when the live period, dead period was different. So, oh yeah, we're recruiting you, getting out of our mail. We've been trying to get in contact with you. And I'm looking at them like, nah, they're just trying to do a package deal with me and Rodney Epson, me and one of the guys is already LaSalle. So that's the thing, two guys would do package deals. I thought they was BSing to find out that I'm getting handwritten letters from some mid-majors and high-major schools. And I kind of killed my confidence for a while, where like I kind of like was just done with the politics with basketball in general. Because I knew it wasn't true. Like I didn't have like I said, I wasn't getting 20-some a game. That wasn't going to happen. We had too many studs at LaSalle. But I was getting double digits. Like I said, I was playing against some of the best competition that you could find. I'm like, why am I only getting D2s and D3s? I mean, they was knocking down my door. Don't get it twisted, but like, the only D1s I was getting was like Manhattan and Fordham. And at that time, they was offering every guard in the city.
Yeah, I know Manhattan was guard heavy.
So nothing wrong with those schools whatsoever. But like, I'm thinking like, why I'm not getting other types of schools? Especially like I said, I had a good AAU season coming into my senior year. I was a McDonald's All-American nominee. A lot of people don't know that. So I was just like, what's going on? And they kind of also confirmed when I did that 1 year at post-grad at Western Reserve Academy in Ohio, I was getting mail out the ass. So I was like, okay, I wasn't tripping. Something was up. But at that point in time, I was just so distraught over all the politics and BS in basketball. I was just like, I'm going to go somewhere where I'm going to play. I'm going to enjoy my 4 years. I'm going to get a good education. And if I play overseas, because at that time, I knew I wasn't playing in the NBA. Yeah. Like I seen enough dudes on that level. I knew there was a difference. So like I may play overseas, get a good job, and that's call it a day. That's pretty much what I did. Went to Washington Jefferson College. At the time there was a D3 school converting into a Division II. Had a solid freshman year. My coach that recruited me, Tom Ratter, who I steal a lot of stuff from. A lot of offensive sets you see me run, a lot of defensive schemes, a lot of terminology you hear me use is stolen directly from him. He's probably one of the best coaches I ever played for, like a basketball genius. Like I learned more that 1 year playing under him than I probably learned collectively every year I played basketball. Like he was that brilliant. He left because we had a new AD and they're putting everybody on probation. And he's one of those dudes like he teaches there. He has a nice cushy job. Like he's not trying to go through all that. Like he just enjoyed coaching. Like if we win, it was cool. But he enjoyed like the teaching part of it more so than the winning part of it. So when that happened, I wound up coming back, just taking classes my sophomore year, then leaving. And I played only 1 year college basketball because of that.
Okay. Did you ever do prep or you just did the PG year?
I did the PG year at Western Reserve Academy through the Boys Club program.
Yeah, because I ain't want to skip over the PG year. I know you had one away, and because I have memories, so we got to go.
Oh, that was the best.
Memories.
That was like one of the best decisions I ever made and that's one of the reasons why I said maybe I should have went to prep from the jump. And a lot of guys get upset that kids leave the city, but like the facilities that you have at these boarding schools are top notch. I had my own trainer. I had like an actual workout regimen that was designed just for me. Yeah. We were doing pre-season conditioning.
Prep schools, like they take the time. They take the time to put in that work with you. But let's get back to my memories. We gotta go back to my memories. like I vividly remember when you came back from doing your PG year, and we were in the Compost Community Center, and strong, quick, fast to the basket, Arnell Milton is now doing Harold Miner dunks. Let's talk about the evolution of the bungees. Like we got to talk about how you got there because when you left, you wasn't doing that.
I was jumping a little bit, not like that. I wasn't jumping like that.
Don't do that.
I wasn't jumping like that.
Don't do that. You was not doing that.
No, I'm just saying I was dunking. I just wasn't going crazy. It was no.
A lot of people were just dunking. We're talking about what stuff you came back doing.
I love that you bring that up because I tell people I have hops and I used to be able to dunk between my legs and all type of stuff, and they don't believe me. Like off the backboard, off the bounce, and they don't believe me. So I'm happy you brought that up. Like I said, the weight training, that's the first time I actually did weight training where like I actually knew what I was doing. I was on the jump soul program as well. Just getting in better shape. Like I said, the second day of school, they give us some of our gear and there's running shoes in the bag. And remember, I went to LaSalle, big time school.
Yeah.
I'm like, why we got running shoes for? Oh yeah, we on the track.
Yeah, you got to.
200s, 400s, 800s, running the steps. And that's when I realized, yo, if you're in shape, that just gives you a different type of advantage.
Yeah, no,
It just does.
One thing about prep school that I mean everybody I've ever spoken to about prep school, they say, yo, the workout regimen is different. And they make you play two sports. They said the
I got
workout
away with not
regimen.
having to do that. I just did weight. I just did weight training my freshman year. They got me to play a little lacrosse. They tried to get me to play football. It wasn't happening.
That's usually what it is. It's basketball and lacrosse. From everybody I
Yeah.
spoke to, it's basketball and lacrosse.
Um, because once I got into the schools I wanted to get into, and like with this one issue I had with Brad Zervas, I was director there. He sent me to a more academic based school.
Mm-hmm.
Like I was already good academically. Like I had a great SAT score, had great GPA. I just wanted another year to play basketball because I felt like I was a Division I prospect. Like I said, after all the BS, even at Western Reserve, like there was a point where like the coach was trying to do anything in his power so I wouldn't shine. And I'm not, and this is not like me making this up because there was a kid, Steve. I forgot what Steve's last name. I actually like Steve. I have no issue with Steve. Steve's dad played for the Cavs, played for Ohio State, and Steve's dad's paying that $60,000 tuition, and my dad's not. And they just think I'm just some hood kid from New York City. So he's like, my son's not getting the ball. My son's not, because I was getting like 30 points a game out there. I was going crazy. It's like, forget all that. I'm being totally selfish. It's all about me. You know, I've been the team first guy. What the hell has that gotten? Which is wrong. But a lot of kids from New York have that mentality. Like, why should I be about the team when that's not helping me out? And that's like a bad New York mentality. So like I said, I'm getting 30 a game. I played in the Boys Club tournament. I was killing the net. We didn't win the game, but I was destroying everybody. Like I had like 30-some one player, but they had the two NBA guys, Joakim Noah, and was killing them. So I was having a good year. Then like he went from playing me to the one, he put me to the two, still getting buckets. Put me to the three, still getting buckets. Brought me off the bench. Like I was determined. I'm still getting buckets. He just stopped playing me. So when he stopped playing me, I stopped going to class.
That politics as usual. That's crazy.
So, yeah, and then they were trying to package me with Steve, like to all these. And in retrospect, they probably should have looked at those type of schools. Like I had some of those Ivy League level Division I, Division II schools looking at me, but I just wanted to play ball. That was just my focus. Now, like I said, this is one of the reasons why I'm in the games. Like, no, go to that school because if you don't play 1 second of basketball with that degree, you're set for life. But the connections you can make at that school, you set for life. So that's like from
that's the bigger picture that a lot of these kids don't know. That's the end game. Like, get your degree, and your degree shouldn't be your fallback plan. That should be the plan. Anything else is just extra. It's a luxury in life, man. That degree, if you're going to school, get your degree. Other than that, what are you going for?
If you get the degree, now if you're able to play professionally afterwards, cool, that's great. That didn't like. You're going to stop playing professionally on average at 30, 35 years old. So what are you going to do with the rest of your life? So you need to have something to fall back on. Education is it. Now, once again, just going to school doesn't mean you're going to do well. You got to pick a major that you're good at, something you're interested in. You got to do internships. You got to do the grunt work. It's not degree doesn't mean you automatically get, the house with the 2 cars and all that type of stuff. You still got to grind, but it puts you in a better position when you have that piece of paper, especially depending on what school it came from. Like I had like the same schools that was coming at Jalen Sinclair, I had coming at me at one point. But I just like wasn't thinking about it. Like I said, Tom Ryder, because his son actually went to the school I went to. Me and him started talking. He was cool. He always kept in contact with me. I went to go visit the school, which is another thing I tell kids. I know they couldn't really do it this year with COVID. Go visit the school.
Go visit, yeah.
You're going to be there for 4 years. Make sure you like it there. So if basketball don't work out, you're like, you know what, basketball don't work, but I still like it. Yeah, I still want to get my degree. Make sure you like the campus life, your surroundings, the classes, the people there. Like, don't just be going just to be going because you like the name of it or because they're the only school offering you a free ride. Like, do your due diligence. This is your life.
Yeah.
So, that was like my high school, college, like career. Now, like I said, I play a little overseas, Latin America, play semi-pro, USBL, ABA, NBPL, ACPBL, like all those leagues, So I did that. But like I said, for me, because I had a brain, like I played basketball because I enjoyed it, not because I was thinking I was going to make my living off of it.
Yeah.
Like I never played for money. I played because I enjoyed the game.
You never
like that never motivated me. Like that money didn't motivate me. Like some guys, like
nobody ever said, "Yo, bet 10, I could beat you right now, 1-on-1."
Are we doing that? We got to do that.
I'm just saying, nobody ever said that to you.
We got to do that because like I used to do that because it was fun, but I never put my own money up. The drug dealer or somebody else was putting the money up. Like I wanted to get on that when the other conversation where he was talking about when I was still hooping. Like I used to like the whole hustling thing. Like who you talk. Like that's why I looked at saying the way I did. Like who you talking to. I used to do that. The whole hustling guys. Like there's only 3. Like for me, if I'm playing 1-on-1, there's only 3 reasons to play 1-on-1. I'm making a point. I'm putting somebody in their place. That's number 1. They talking too much. They think they're better than you are. I gotta put you in your place. But like I said, this is when I was hooping. I don't hoop no more. Those days are over. I coach. I don't hoop. To work on my game. So let's say, like, for example, there was one summer when I was really having I was turning up every summer league, pretty much I was playing in. And then all of a sudden they started putting these 6'4", 6'5", you remember this, athletic guys on me. And I was struggling. So what I would do is, the guys at the gym I played at, I would play, if it's someone that was tall that could move well, I would play them 1-on-1 to work on shit.
Yeah, listen, that's how you get better. Like,
So it wasn't about winning. If I lost the guy, it wasn't I wasn't really playing defense like that. I was working on my offensive game against someone that, like, it's pretty much like I'm using them like as a moving corners, like sparring practice. So that's number 2 or 3. They talking way too much for me, and I'm just gonna take their money because the reason why we're playing for money now is you're not gonna say, "Oh, I didn't care" if you lost 100, 200, 300 or a band. You're not gonna say you didn't care.
Yeah.
So now the conversation is over with. That's one of the reasons why I would play someone 1-on-1. And most of the reason why I play guys 1-on-1 because it was a challenge. Like I would play, he's good. I want to play him. See how I measure up to him.
Yeah.
So, like to get better, to work on stuff.
So you played 1-on-1 to get better. You played 1-on-1 to win money, right? Because you knew you could win.
So I knew I could win. Yeah.
All right. So when it came, you
can bring it up. You go ahead. You can bring it up.
I'm going to bring it up. I ain't holding my tongue. So when it came,
it wouldn't be right if you did, Mel.
When it came to Sam, Mr. I can do better, you pretty much said it was a waste of your time. What am I playing for? You was, like you said, you're not even a never was. What?
Wait, was he?
Time out.
What was he? Like, I'm not even trying to be funny, was he?
I mean, that's a little disrespectful, man. A little bit.
Adon Haslam's not supposed to challenge LeBron. That's how I look at it. No one wants to see that 1-on-1 matchup. And that's what Sam was. He rebounded, he played defense, he set screens. That's what he did.
Yeah.
Like this is my thing. We got to stop calling dudes that was legends. I remember being on the bench or on the sideline clapping while I was getting 25 to 30. We got to stop doing that. I'm not going to say no names. We just got to stop doing that.
Damn! Yo, you're talking spicy.
And if I'm lying, I'm not lying. You was on the sideline like this. Let's go now. Not you a legend?
Yo,
did I miss something?
Listen, talk your talk, man. Listen, you're
I'm
right.
just asking a question.
No, I'm saying you're right. Like if that's the situation, you're definitely right. You know what I'm saying? So if that's what was really going on, that's what happened, then you're right. Can't be called the legend when.
And we the same age, or you older than me? There's something wrong with that. Now, if you was younger coming up, that's different. If you was my age or younger and you was clapping it up, watching me get 25 to 30, there's a problem. Yeah, I can't call you a legend. I can't call you a legend.
Never was.
That wasn't even directed at Sam. It's like I had to go back to the archives. That wasn't really directed at Sam. I had to go because me and Sam. Let me finish. When me and Sam was playing, Sam was younger. Sam is younger than me, so he wasn't on teams I played on. That's why when he said I got thrown in practice, I'm like, what are you talking about? Like we never played on the same teams really like that. I played with, and he played mostly with Ham Fish. I played with Ham Fish a few times.
He was talking about you getting thrown out of practice at OA.
Oh wait, I never got thrown out of practice.
Oh, I mean that's what he spoke to. You got thrown out of practice at OA.
The first person I asked was my dad. Second person I asked was Coach Don. It's like you don't even get down like that. Like I only got thrown out 2 practices my whole life. I remember them vividly. And both of them was in college.
Oh yeah.
And I deserved it. I deserved it. Punched the teammate. I got to go.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? So I remember like I only got thrown out practice twice. So I'm not even that type of guy. Like I take practice seriously. I'm a coachable. I've always been a coachable player. So that don't make sense to me.
Yeah, I mean honestly, like watching the back and forth, like it was entertaining. It definitely was.
But that's all it was. It was a lot of sensational nonsense. Like you wasn't really giving me facts. But that shot wasn't really directed at Sam. It was just in general. Like they'll have these Legends games. I'm like, you wasn't even playing in tournaments when he's coming up. You used to do that play like pickup. No one was putting you down nothing. Like you were a legend. Like I don't. It's like a buddy system. Like you put no work down here.
Hey, that buddy system worked out for me very well. Everywhere Tone went and got accepted to, I was there.
Yeah, but you actually put work in, bro. I seen you play.
But it was the buddy system.
No, I'm talking about as in like, because he's my friend, he's a legend.
Oh, okay, I got you. All right. So
yeah, because he's my friend, he's a legend.
Yeah. Got you.
Yeah. Like, wait a minute. You not like, or dudes is not even down here to put no work down here. Didn't play any tournaments down. Like, so I feel the way about that because that word I feel like it's thrown around too loosely, like goat. Like it's thrown around way too loosely. Well, I kind of got lost a little bit. What I was about to say about something else. Oh, like for example, like only guard I felt like that was my age that was better than me was BG. Because he was a natural point guard. I always was kind of like evolving into one. I was more like a scorer. I was more like a small forward in a point guard's body. Let's just keep it 100. That really was my game. I was small forward in a point guard's body. So, and me and him were like, there was a point in time like we 15, 16. They wasn't letting us play in tournaments downtown. People forget that. Yeah, so bad, in fact, I got to.
It was tough.
I got a story to tell you. So. I think someone else was playing in the Henry Street tournament. So I was just there chilling. I just got back from AAU, right? I think I'm 17 at the time. So there's like 2 extra shirts on the side. So I put a shirt on and BG puts a shirt on and we get up on the layup line and the guys on the other team start protesting, talking about they're not going to play. And then Henry Street had that little low rim, so we wilding out on the low rim.
Exactly. We talking Henry Street here. And we talking UMBG on the same team. I mean, who were y'all playing against?
I don't even remember the individual.
I was playing like against a Mo and a JK at the time. I don't see them quitting. I don't see them protesting.
It wasn't them. No, it wasn't a Mo and JK.
Or like a Keith or Chris, Tango and Cash. Like I don't see them protesting either.
But it was guys for like, yo, I'm not like 2 guys took off their shirts and left the park. Like that's how bad it was. I'm like. Yeah, I'm just bullshit. I'm not gonna play. Like I had Air Max 95s on. Like I wasn't playing. I was just BSing. So, but that's my point. The other thing, like you mentioned this before, like a lot of dudes that come at me as a player, because we're talking about the player side of it, were the same dudes that would talk a lot of shit. Then when I walked in the park, got real quiet.
Yeah, listen. What I remember of Arnell. I haven't seen you play ball in a while, so what I remember of Arnell when we was growing up was you was a killer. Period. Like anything that anybody else says about you, about I guess what they saw of you, because I played on a lot of your teams. You know what I'm saying? Or I played against you. You know what I'm saying? So, and we didn't play in the neighborhood for the most part. It was outside the neighborhood. So, like I've watched you kill plenty of times, and we had good teams. You know what I'm saying? So it wasn't like we didn't have good teams. I've watched you kill plenty of times on big stages. So a lot of the things that people say, it's like, yo, are we talking about the same person? Because like I've seen the battles that you've, you know what I'm saying, that you've put in, that you played against people, and it's, I don't know.
That's why. But I'm at the point where like, I'm getting a chance to kind of vet some things out now. But like, if you don't think I was good, cool, no problem. Like I said, I go to the apartment in New York and just pull out the trophies, and here you go, MVP in this, leading scorer in that. I don't need, like I said, I've won. This is not just LES, and this is period. Like I don't really get that issue with guys outside the Lower East Side. I think guys outside the Lower East Side respect me more, especially Brooklyn, Harlem, Queens, because that's where I played a lot. But it's like from the high school age, there's not too many tournaments in New York City that I don't have a championship in, or MVP in, or made the championship in, or made all tournament team. It's not too many. The few that I don't is because I didn't play in them. Like I won ISA twice. Kenny Anderson, like you told me, like we could keep going on and on and on. So it's like, so for me, it's like, and then Lower East Side, like you can't name a tournament in Lower East Side that have a championship in. Like, for example, why do you think X's put me on? Why do you think X's put me on their team? Apache who came to me one day like, Lil Milt, I'm sick of you killing us. Here's some shorts. You were rocking with us now. And that kind of goes back into a conversation I was having about kids getting upset with like not being put down on Team Mega, and they feel like they're better than the players on my team. All right, that's cool. Kill us and beat us. Outplay the guy you think you're better than and win the game consistently, and then maybe I'll think about it. So if that's how you feel.
Let's not even brush over that. Let's talk about that because there's a few things that not even a few things. There's one main thing that was going around about Mega, since like you're from the Lower East Side. Why is it that a lot of your players are not from the Lower East Side? Like people were, I'm trying to remember. Honestly, I'm not even going to throw names out because I can't really remember who said what and when they said it, so I don't want to get that wrong. But it was pretty much said that you don't really support the Lower East Side because you have so many players on your team that aren't from the Lower. And my response was, why should he have to? Like, why should he have to only have Lower East Side players? He's running a program. He's not running a Lower East Side program. He's running a program.
But the point with that's not even factual. We can go look at the pictures. There's not particular pictures I posted up. There's not Elias Kid there. And let's also be clear. A lot of times those kids wouldn't show up to games.
No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't said that you don't have LES kids on your team. It was saying why aren't all the kids on your team from the Lower? Like why is it that you have players from other boroughs on your team? That's
like saying well I shouldn't play for Brooklyn USA because I'm from Manhattan.
Yeah, like when it was said, like I didn't really. I couldn't really get on board with that because it didn't make sense because I guess that's because like we grew up different. Like we played everywhere else. We played on other teams. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like I played for St. George's Church in Brooklyn. I played for Kennedy Center. Like things like that. Not even talking about myself, but situations like that. You wind up playing for other people, and it's just a mixture of kids on the team that are from different boroughs.
Yeah.
That's just the way it works.
It's very few teams where all the kids are from the same borough. That's hardly ever happens. But when did I ever say when my team was exclusively a LES team? No, I don't remember saying that.
Exactly. Yeah, but you shouldn't even have. That's
what I'm gonna do. I'm saying I'm taking Apache's game plan. Rest in peace, mentor, brother. You know, one of my favorite coaches. Shout out to Rodney Johnson, but. Apache didn't have all the kids from Lower East Side. He had the best kids from Lower East Side, or who he felt was the best, right? Mm-hmm. And then he mixed them with kids from Harlem, kids from Queens, and they killed in the Lower, and they played in stuff outside the Lower. So and like I said, like I'm not one of these cookie cutter cupcake programs, not to diss nobody, but I'm not doing this just to strictly keep kids off the street. There's enough programs doing that. Mm-hmm. So my thing is. I'm taking kids who have the opportunity and the talent to play in college and who I feel like are to put in the work and be committed to make that go happen. And my track record, I think, speaks for itself. Kids that have listened and done the work, they go to school.
Yeah.
Like, you know, so, and like I said, I'm not one of these guys that's going to sit here and be like, that's all me. It takes a village, obviously. I've had help. I have resources. I have other people like, you know what? I'm not playing AAU, but here, I'm going to call this guy or that guy gets you on the team. Yeah. I'm gonna help you get into the school. I'm gonna help you get into the showcase. I'm gonna call his college coach. I'm gonna send him your film. So like it's having networking connections, but I never ever said I was strictly a Lower East Side program.
Yeah.
Not even when I was at Boys Club, I never ever said that. So
no, you're right.
It would be one thing to say, oh, I'm only take LES kids. And the sad thing is majority of the kids at one point were LES kids. But like I said, just mention the times where they were supposed to play at Dykeman, they didn't show up. Or they're supposed to play ISA and they didn't show up.
Yeah.
Or they're supposed to play in this tournament, they didn't show up. Like no one brings that up.
Yeah. Nah, a lot of the kids these days, like they act like something's old to them. Like they're privileged. So a lot of them, if it requires them to hop on a train or a bus. They just won't be showing up, or if they don't have their friends traveling with them, they just won't go. So
If they don't have a ride, yada
if they
yada
don't got
yada.
a
Yeah,
ride, they're not going. So yeah, a
and
lot
not
of
and not
yeah.
yeah, not talking bad about all of them, but like that was the case. So like Jalen's played for me primarily Louis, Cherry, Damon. That's all the other kids. Most of the kids I try to help, even a couple of kids I took out with me to PA were from the lower. Dior's from the lower. Aaron's from the lower. So like I don't like when people say that, it's like I think what they're saying is they're upset that I didn't take their son or their nephew or their cousin. And that's really the beef. That's what it is.
Yeah, no,
Because I didn't take that. I didn't
can see
take that. Why is my because I had those teams. Why is my son not playing your team? Like, bro, you didn't care about my team until we started playing in Dykeman and playing in IS8 and playing in West Fourth. Y'all wasn't showing me no support. Now all of a sudden that we hot, now you want to be down. So, or like, oh, my son's better than so-and-so. Really? Because, and I'm not going to get here and go into details and names, whatnot, but like, your son, cousin, whatever, that was better than so-and-so. So-and-so is going D1.
Mm-hmm.
So-and-so played EYBL. So-and-so going JUCO D1 full ride. What's your son, cousin, nephew doing? Obviously, he wasn't better.
Yeah,
and
right.
one of my coaches, one of my older coaches, one of my mentors, have a lot of them, said, it's funny how people don't give you your credit. Like either you're good at noticing talent and knowing how to develop it, you know what I'm saying, or you're just like good at putting players together. It has to be one of the two, if not both. Because I can't say you're not a good trainer. I can't say you're not good at evaluating talent. Because there's no way you have the success you had and had the high level players you've been around if I wasn't good at one of the two, if not both. So I had to be doing something right.
Yeah, big facts. All right, yo,
so like I was just.
I don't want to dwell on this. Let's move on because let me see. Yeah, we about 40 minutes in. Let's keep going. So what did street ball mean to you? Like, what does your resume say? And what big tournaments have you played in?
Well, same concept. I was never the nicest dude in street ball, but I was in the room. I went against the killers. I played against NBA guys in the streets, played against Division I guys overseas making money. I was in the mix. So and I played EBC, Kingdom when it was popping, Dykeman, Hoops in the Sun. Like I played in every major tournament in New York City and held my own. There's not too many tournaments in the city that I didn't have multiple 30-point games.
So it's
like
fair
only
to
time
say that your resume is stacked.
Yeah, I mean, only time my scoring went down was I was at the point where I didn't care about individual statistics. I cared more about just winning and being in a position to win championships and just having fun. Like I kind of like felt like I already proved myself. Like a lot of guys give themselves nicknames. My nickname wasn't given to me by myself. I got that doing my thing at EBC when EBC was still relevant.
Yeah, that was my next question. See, you jumping the gun. You speeding a little bit. Mega Man. Where did the name Mega Man come from?
So I had a really good game. This is funny. BG and them was playing in EBC. They were short, so they asked me to play. So the first game I did pretty well. Then they asked me to come back. Second game I went crazy. We lost. Played a really good team. We lost by a few points, like overtime. So at the time I was really going more by my middle name than my first name, which is Omega. So they just started calling me Mega. And then Hannibal, who originally gave me the nickname, Hannibal says he comes to Harlem and takes the guard's powers. He's the Mega Man, because that's what the Mega Man character does. You defeat a boss, you take their powers.
Nice.
So that's where it came from. And then a few days later, I played in Kingdom against. It was Too Hard to Guard, and Steve Burke was on the same team. When the game went to they had some kid from Georgetown. I had like 30-something points that game. And my boy, Marquise Noel's dad, Pop, he was doing the mic, and he was at Rucker when they was calling me that. He said, "Oh, my man, the Mega Man is out here." So, and then it just stuck. Like I went to Rodney Park, Mega Man. I went to what? So it just, like I didn't promote it. It just stuck from that, from doing my thing in Harlem.
Man, I kid you not. It was one. It was. Remember that we put a team in Park Slope, right? YMCA.
Yeah.
So, yo, we're all like, it was funny because me, Tone, and TJ, we go to sign a book, and you already signed the book. So we go to sign a book. It's like, fuck is Omega? That's exactly what it was saying. Like, what the fuck is Omega? What?
Yeah. That's my middle name. So that's what kind of. Yeah, go ahead.
We seen the number. It was 5.
That was my number. 5 and 0.
Yeah,
5 0
so
24 is my numbers.
We seen the 5. We was like, all right, who's wearing 5? Then we asked, she was like, yo, why you sign a book, Omega? What the hell? Your name is Arnell. What are you talking about? And then, like, ever since then, like, any tournament, like, we ever played in together, we would always just look at the book to see what you was going to sign. And you just always signed Omega from, I don't know, ever since. I don't know. Maybe you always did it, but that was the first time we noticed it.
It was some alter ego shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like I'm naturally a nice person, but when I play my best, I'm not a nice person. So I kind of have to transform into this other character. I feel like I played my best when I did that. Like, I'm normally not like a cutthroat person off the court, away from that type of stuff. But when I'm on the court, I play my best. I'm kind of like that asshole cutthroat. Like, you in my way, kill or be killed. If he dies, he dies. Like that mentality. I played the best at. It turned a lot of people off, unfortunately, but it worked for me. I feel like I played at my best when I was in that mindset.
Yeah, I need to ask you a question.
Go ahead.
This is something that me and Tone, shout out to my brother Ramon Cannon. Well,
Tone, that's my guy. Hell of a ball player too, man. Another guy that people forget about that actually is legendary. But we get into that another day.
Another day, man. But one thing me and him always used to joke on you about was if you was on another team, right, and we showed up to the game like early on just to watch your game, we always be like, yo, how come every time he scores or he gets a steal or he does anything good on
I gotta say something.
No, forget the saying something. Nah, that's the saying something is natural. But it was like the look to the side. It's like, is that like something? We used to always laugh because every time you did something, it'd be boom, and you would look. I'm like, what the hell is that?
This is some Kobe shit. That was one of my favorite players. So
yo,
I had some Black Mamba in me.
Like, what the hell is he looking at?
It's a game between the game. That's all. It's a game between the game. Gotta have fun out there while you're doing what you do. But yeah, that's why I did that. Like, I know you're talking like I make a boy, I go like this, and go right back to playing. I know you're talking about the look away.
Yeah, like he used to bug us out. Like, yo, the hell is he looking at? Because you ain't looking at a particular person. Like,
no, I'm not looking, just looking to the side. It's just like a refocus type of thing. I mean, what was worse when I used to count backwards. I haven't done that in a while. I miss doing that. As actually in the documentary, you used to count backwards. So I heard Steve Smith say, like, one time he was playing against Jordan. Jordan said score, and he said 38. Then he said 36. He was counting backwards from 40. So, like, when I would play certain people, and this is like one of the reasons kind of why I stopped playing ball. I realized I only was playing hard when I feel like I need to make a point or I feel disrespected. I wasn't enjoying the game anymore. I wasn't putting the work and the time in to stay sharp. Like, you know what? It's time. It's time. Like, I'm just really just playing because it's still fun to some degree. It keeps me in shape, keeps the weight off me. But like that desire that I used to have, like in my early 20s and early 30s, like it was gone. And I think part of it was when you coach, you start looking at the game differently. And I noticed like a lot of times when I was playing, I would be doing more coaching than playing. And you're kind of worried about playing that perfect game because you have other people watching you. And one thing I had a pet peeve for is like, you got a guy that says he's a good coach. You see him playing, he's like awful. Does all this dumb bug out shit. I didn't want to be one of those guys. So I was like, no, I'll make sure I make the right pass. I'm in the right spot. I'm in the right place defensively. I'm talking like I was like becoming perfectionist in the wrong way. And I was like, you know what? It's time. Like the only time I would go off or play well was like if I felt like I needed to make a point.
Yeah, but like even in those times, like it used to get frustrating to play on your team because it almost seemed like you never pass the ball.
Depending on what team I played on.
I kid you not. Like for me, it didn't matter. Like anytime you ever played on my team, It was like
I
you
was in
never
the
passed the ball. But no. But let me say this though. Now, after the game, after everybody was frustrated, Nell had 30, but nobody else really got off. But then you think about it like, hold up. How did Glenn get that bucket? Because you passed him the ball. Like, you would end the game with like 8-10 assists, but nobody looked at that. It was like, yo, this nigga don't pass the ball, man. But indeed, you was giving the ball up.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. Like, I've gotten that before. Like, one of the things I took pride in, like, I can get mines off, and other guys can eat, depending on who I was playing with, because you kind of know how to pick your spots. And a lot of my points came from just energy.
Yeah.
It wasn't. It was just energy. Like, I'm gonna get if I get the rebound. This is why I tell guards, if you want to score a rebound, if I get 5 or 6 defensive rebounds, that's 6 opportunities for me to score in transition. If I get the outlet pass, it's a chance to score. So just off, that's 12 points right there that I can get. I'm going to go to the free throw line. I was a good free throw shooter. So like, I already had 18 points without making a one-on-one move, without taking the guy off the dribble, without hitting the three, just from energy and effort and just those type of baskets. And that's like, I think a lot of young kids don't really see that part of the game. Like, you can score without having to be a one-on-one dribble head. And because I would have 30, like, well, he didn't really dribble or do anything. Like, I knew how to score, and I had a good motor at that time. I also feel like when I was playing with you, I was in more of that selfish mode anyway. Like, I was trying to like solidify myself in my position. Once I kind of feel like, you know what, dudes know I could play, I didn't really care about that anymore. It's more like, okay, I'll get 30 every now and then because like, letting those dudes, I still can do it. I just don't care to do it. Yeah. And at the end of the day, I like scoring, but I wanted to win. Winning was always more important than stats.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I think anytime you ever played on like one of my teams, and it was almost like, I guess you understood that we understood, well, this is what Nell's gonna do, and you just went out and just played. You know what I'm saying? Like, you rarely had any bad games, so you just went out and you did what we expected you to do, whether you was frustrated or not. You know what I'm saying? You always remain the Mega that we knew you was gonna be. So, I mean, at the end of the day, it is what it is, and we got a lot of wins out there, a lot of wins because of you. So,
appreciate that, man. But at the same token, like, I feel like if I wasn't playing well, if Tone was going off, or TJ was going off, or Glenn was going off,
we had stacked teams,
or John Lopez was going off, or even when we joined forces with Coach Joe, Keith was going off, or Force going off.
Danny Green.
I had no problem. I had no problem giving them the ball and clapping it up. I think that's different than a lot of the guys that call themselves scorers. Like, if they don't score, they feel away. Like, if you killing and we winning, I'm good with that. Now, what I didn't like sometimes was, don't go do your own thing, and then when that game get tight, talking about, yo, Nell, hit the ball. I didn't like that. And I played on a few teams like that where, like, we play a bad team, or they feel like they're in a rhythm, or they're feeling good about themselves. And as soon as shit get tight, now it's like, okay, Nell, bail us out. I'm like, nah, bro, I'm not feeling that. You can't like look me off all game and then want me to save you.
Like, Nell to the rescue. Yo, what are you doing? Let's go.
Like, bro, y'all been looking me up. Not like, it'll be like one or two guys looking me off the whole game because they feel it's cool, kill, but don't, when you can't get off no more because shit got real, don't be like, bail me out now. Like, I'm in no type of rhythm.
Yeah.
Like I'm still gonna play defense, still gonna do other things. Like, I'm not gonna pout because I'm not getting the ball. Like, I would never was about that, but at the same time, like, I'm not gonna, like, that's just not basketball. I wouldn't do that to anybody else. If we know like Tone's the number one guy, and I've been I'm purposely looking him off for like, no, this is my game. I'm doing me. And then when I can't get off, now I want to give him the ball. Like, this is not. And even when I coach, I tell kids that, like, he's been killing us. Like, I've lost games where like we'll be up 20, right? Guys are doing what I need them to do, doing what I'm asking them to do. And then once we up 20, like, oh, I can do what I want to do. Then when that shit gets shut down, I don't want to go back to whoever was hot. It's like, it's too late now.
Yeah.
You can't do that.
Now, I think like the best teams that we've ever had, well, in my opinion, was when we actually joined up with Coach Joe, because with Keith Cash, Danny Green, John Force, Lopez.
We had a nice little squad. We came up short a few times at Ham Fish. We had a good squad.
Yeah, it was fun, man. It was definitely fun. Like, even when we traveled to other tournaments, like I vividly remember that game. I know you know the game I'm talking about. When we played, damn, all right.
You know when the dude called me a bum and I had 40 and a half?
Broadway.
You talking about that one?
Yeah.
When I had 40 and dude called me a bum?
On Broadway. Yeah. So like you ended the game with 50. And like these are one of the situations that I like talking about because Joe was one of those, he didn't have faith in me because of my size. So now it's a game where nobody else shows up. Just me and you, and he had to pick up like 3 other players. Now, I'm like,
and the rest of the guys came late. I remember that.
Yeah, I got
the rest of the guys got there late.
To shine now. You know what I'm saying? So, I had 20 that game, and you ended the game with 50. You had 40 I had. And I'm looking at Joe like, you see? Let me play. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, come on, man. I ain't just here. I ain't just showing up. But yeah, you definitely put in work that game. Like, and it was easy too. It was easy.
But that game kind of like relates to what I've been trying to say. It's like an example. I'm trying to say like, dudes are just gonna have opinion on you no matter what you do. You can present all the facts. Like, dude, I have 40 on you at half. So if I'm a bum, what are you? And I remember telling him that. And even the guys on the mic were saying like, if he got 40 on you, it's half. I think we had like a good lead, and I think the other guys came, so I kind of like didn't play as much the second half. It was like, if someone has 40 on me at half, I'm not saying nothing to you. You won. This is no contest. But that's just the mentality. That's the mentality of certain people in Europe. Like, no matter what you put or present on the table, once they have an input of how they feel about you, there's nothing going to change that.
Yeah.
So, like, a lot of the dudes I would have back and forth with, it's like, why am I doing this? Like, we can, like, one guy was like, he was saying, like, oh, you never kill my team at certain tournament. I was like, bro, the stats are online. Do you want me to screenshot you and send you your stats? Like, in a tournament I averaged 40 in every game?
Yeah.
But you ain't never killed us. Well, it says 44 right there. We beat you about 20. I don't, so to get to the point, like, you just gotta like kind of leave that alone. Like, people are gonna feel how they feel even when you present the facts. So, you say your piece and let you keep it moving.
Yeah, nah, definitely. Yo, I just keep remembering like all the games that were played, man.
We had some good times, man. It was a good run. I wish YouTube and social media, all this stuff was out. Like, I regret not having more video of me playing, especially when I was still like athletic and young. Like, I regret not having that stuff. So I know, like, whenever I get film, I like to send it to the kids. It's nice to have those memories, especially like, when you get, fat and lazy like me and people don't believe that you had it.
Yo, you remember the game where we had Park Slope, YMCA? I hit the buzzer beater to send us to overtime, and we ended up winning the game. But you got teched out of the game, because you had a problem with one of the other dudes on the team.
The fight? The fight?
Yeah, the fight. Y'all both get teched out, right? So I hit the buzzer beater to send us to overtime. We wound up winning the game. Like, I've never seen somebody so upset at somebody for killing them on the court that they literally want to fight after the game. Like,
what's funny though?
Waited outside and really wanted to jump us. A fight broke out. The fight did break out, but it's like, yo.
It's very unsuccessful, but yeah, I hear what you're saying. Yeah, but I've had that happen to me plenty of times where dudes want to fight me over a basketball game. And like, at the end of the day, like, as long as you don't do nothing to hurt me, you can say what you want, you can do what you want. Once you cross that line, we're throwing the game out the window. And I think I lost my cool. I used to be Mush Master Flex. I mushed the hell out of the guy, and I got broken up. But like, you're not gonna hurt me on the court.
Yeah, because that's what happened. Like, I got into each other's faces, pushed him.
Because he did some dirty shit. He did some dirty shit that could have got me hurt. Like, I don't play that at all. Like, you can say whatever you want. It's basketball. People say all type of disrespectful shit.
Yeah.
I can look the other way. But when you physically do something that might hurt me, nah, then the game is over. You know what I'm saying? So either two things that happen. Either we're gonna fight, or I'm gonna do the same shit back to you. Like, that's just not cool. Like, I've never played and tried to hurt somebody.
Y'all remember your cousin Charles too. Woo, Chuck. Yo,
bounce.
No, forget the bounce. I'm talking about the fight. Like, Chuck.
Oh yeah, he's from Brooklyn.
Yo,
Canucks, man.
Yo, first off, I was kind of upset that the biggest dude on the team want to run up to me. I'm like, fam, let me fight him. He's more my size. Like, what the hell's going on here? So, but then Charles, he was upset that he didn't get that much burn or he didn't get the ball enough. Because you know how he gets during the game. If he ain't getting the touches, he ain't getting the shots off, he's just angry Charles. So when that fight broke out, I think he wanted that. Because he squared up so quick and was just swinging at everything. I'm like, yo, he's upset.
I mean, we were both tired. I remember I was chasing guys down the block and y'all was like, yo, Mecca, what you doing?
Yeah. I mean, as fast as they pulled up in the car and hopped out, was as fast as they hopped back in the car, drove off, and the other dude was running down the block. That Mecca just chased him like, yo, we in Brooklyn, bro. Where you going? Yeah, chase him around that corner if you want to. See if your ass come back. Where you going, man?
I was tight. I was hot. It was like 3 of them on me, too. I was hot.
Yeah. Oh, man, good times. Yo, all right, so let's talk about Chosen real quick because the rumor is you got thrown out of Chosen. So let's speak to that rumor. What's the facts?
Okay, so this is what happened. So this is the day after I put the infamous post of College United when LAS United played and LAS Express against Josiah's team, and they had like a college kid playing, right? Which I didn't like for a few reasons. One, I think Momo came that day, and Momo was actually from Lower East Side. Momo's like family to me. That's JC's nephew. So Momo, I remember, left because he didn't get to play a lot. So LES base team doesn't play one of the better players from Lower East Side. And you get a kid that's not from Lower East Side and he's in college and he's a guard. He was a good size guard, but he's a guard. So I kind of felt the way about that. And they won the game. And I remember Isaiah, Josiah's brother Isaiah was going off about it. Like he said, I could have played. That's what we doing. I could have played because Isaiah was in college. So I put that up. So Sam felt the way about it. I understand. I was working on a basketball camp for Fun Sport in Brooklyn. So when I work camps, I put my phone away. Like I don't get on my phone to that. So at lunch I saw it and I texted him like, yo, I'll call you when I get back to Manhattan. Because obviously this is something we need to sit down and talk about for a while. He wasn't patient enough. He's like, oh, you need to take the shit down and all this type of stuff. And talking to me in a way in which, if you're talking to me in that way, I'm not going to do what you want me to do. I'm stubborn as it is. You know what I'm saying? So talking to me in those type of ways is definitely going to make me go the other way.
Right.
So that day, my team played in Chosen. That same day, me and Sam have this situation with the Texans and whatnot. And when I actually did call him back when I got back to Manhattan and went right to voicemail. So Sam's referencing my game. Okay. And I already feel the vibe. And what got me tight is the same kids that you vouch for, and I'm not trying to make this like hate Sam type of thing, but the same kids you vouch for, you let them get beat up, fouled, thrown to the floor, you're not blowing the whistle at all. Like Louis literally got tackled, no call. Louis tapped the ball away from him, you blow the whistle. Like I observed these things. And I'm not even on refs like that. As a player, as a coach, not as much. And then there's a play in the second half, and we're losing the game, and it's not because of the officiating, but the kids are frustrated, and they feel away. So Jaquan, who, everyone that knows Jaquan's like the quietest, most calmest kid you can meet. Jaquan goes up for a layup and gets pushed into the beams. And it was so egregious that both teams stopped and lined up at the free throw line until they realized a whistle wasn't blown. So at that point, I say, you know what? I call a timeout. We're done. Because Jaquan got up with his hand balled up. I already know what's going to happen. I played too much basketball. There's going to be a fight. We're at a church league. So I told my guys, get dressed. Game's over. They understood. They had no problem with it. And I said, it's cool. Because the 16U guys, because I had Jerry and Louie and someone else that was 16U playing, like, it's all right. We're going to see them in Howard's tournament. Love of the game. And we played LAS United in that, and we beat them by like 40. And I was hot that game. And I was talking shit, looking at Sam at the same time. It was bad. I was hot. And not because I don't care about losing and Chosen, because it's a church league. It's not that serious. It's about community service and getting the kids out there having fun. But when you have an issue with me, you taking it on the kids, I have a problem with that. So when I was leaving the court, just like, Mega, what happens? Like, listen, if he's officiating, I'm not coaching. That part got set. And then Manny, because Manny is Manny, and everyone loves Manny. Manny called me and we talked and we texted and I was like, man, listen, I'll give you the shirts back, whatever. I'm not coaching. If he's officiating, I am not going to coach. I'm not participating. And like I said, if people want to go there, I have the text messages to prove it. You don't want me to go screenshot Mafia.
Yeah, nah. Listen, we know that you known for your screenshots, man.
We don't go screenshot Mafia. So the fact that you said like I was banned, like I wasn't banned. I decided that I didn't want to coach because I didn't want to go. I didn't want to deal with that type of issue.
Yeah. So
like if you have an issue with me, that's fine, but don't take it out on the kids. Where's the point? They might get hurt or they're gonna end up fighting.
If that's the situation, then like you definitely made the right decision because that's dirty. Pretty much, like you're supposed to be impartial as a referee. So if that was the situation, then yeah, I definitely.
Like I said, I'm like I'm not being like I'm observing. Like wow, so that happens to that kid, but tap, and the guy's like, oh, you were mad because you was like, I don't. It's chosen. Like I've never won chosen. Like I'm not there for that.
Yeah.
Because anything I do, and this is another thing, and me and man talk about anything I do, they complain about. So they say I'm not a good coach, but then when I do it, like 1 year I almost won it with the older division, which is like 25 to 18 with 15-year-olds. With Donovan, with Chinese Charlie, I think I had Shaq Ratty. Like I had like a bunch of high school kids, and almost won the whole thing.
Yeah. Okay.
And then they was complaining, oh, he's bringing like they're high school kids. like if I really want to come out there and show out for something that's 25 and under, you know what I'm saying? I can call the hitters. Like if it's not that serious.
Yeah.
So that's what happened with Chosen. So I kind of felt that's one thing he said I felt the way, but like don't say I was banned.
Yeah. Nah. We here to get the facts.
I chose to stop coaching because I didn't like what was going down.
Yeah,
and like
we here to get the facts on that, man.
Yeah.
So
one conversation I had with Manny was, I told him like sometimes I'm too busy to be a head coach. I'd rather be an assistant, so I can kind of show up when I need to show up. Like the head coach is just I'm playing in 1,000 tournaments, so that is just kind of tough for me, you know. So, but I always had love for the Chosen League. I love what it's about. I wish the kids respected it a little bit more and really appreciate it because he doesn't have to do that. And he's not charging you a dime.
Yeah,
and it's not free.
Big shout out to Manny Maldonado, man. Like he runs the Chosen League on the Lower East Side.
Great brother, beautiful dude.
Free, you know what I'm saying? It's free to the neighborhood kids, and he's led by God, so the tournament's led by God, and he's just a great dude, man. And for anybody that doesn't take advantage of the tournament or participates and doesn't respect what's going on, like I just feel bad for you because you're being offered something that nobody else is really offering, and it's right here in your neighborhood. So, but yeah, big shout outs to Manny, man. He's doing an amazing job. One of the best summer tournaments, summer leagues, and in the summertime on the Lower East Side, man.
Yeah, because I've had those conversations with Manny, so I know how much comes out the pocket, how much they got to raise to run Chosen.
Yeah.
You know, so like it's a church league, treated as such. Mm-hmm. It's not about like I understand we're all competitive, but the competitiveness shouldn't be cutthroat. It's about the kids having a good time, playing basketball, coming together in the name of God. So I kind of felt the way how, and me and Manny talked about this. So it's not like, you know, he doesn't know how I feel on these things. And me and him had many conversations what we can do to better the tournament. So that's a guy I talk to Manny at least a few times a week. You know what I'm saying? In some, whether it's a DM or a text or whatever, you know. So shout out to him, great dude, beautiful guy, man of God that's really trying to do right by the kids. And like I said, people understand like he doesn't have to do this.
Yeah, he doesn't. That's where his heart's at, though, man. All the gold. All the gold.
That's what it means more. Like he's not benefiting from this at all financially. He's taking time away from his family, from his kids. You know, so like really appreciate what these pillars in our community are doing.
And yeah, definitely, man. Let's move on real quick to I want to touch on because it bothered me a little bit too, because certain things like I just don't play with because it's like these are real life things. So when on the last podcast when I interviewed you and Sam, Oh, by the way, like that full interview is not coming out because I had an audio issue, but once I get the audio parts that I can put out together linked up with the video, I will be putting snippets of that last interview out. But yeah, when he kept going at you and kept saying that you were mentally ill, like I don't understand where that came from, why he felt you was mentally. I mean, he spoke like why he felt that way, but to me it didn't add up because like there's real mental illness out there.
It's I personally feel insulted about it because I know I'm not mentally ill. I have anger issues. Everyone does. Not as bad as it used to be. Um, I don't express myself the best way, and I acknowledge that. I'm aware of that. But mentally, like I've coached people that are mentally ill. I have loved ones that are mentally ill. This is not something that I joke or play around with. Period. Like I didn't feel insulted because I know it's not true, and I felt like someone that doesn't like confrontation and didn't have much factual ammunition to bring to the table. What do you do? It's like when you're in school, you say some sensation that sounds good, that sounds funny, but it's not. It has shock value to it, but no truth to it. So I just feel like that's all he was really doing. Um, like I said, and like me and you talked about, I feel like in that interview, I actually remember contacting you and was like, maybe we shouldn't put it out because he's not seen in the best light. And that's important. And like I said, people think I don't like Sam and I don't appreciate what he does community. I do. Sam's never did anything personally to me that's hurt me, harmed me any type of way. I just don't like how he's went about certain things. And those things I've talked about and I addressed. And the thing is, it could have been resolved without going to social media or becoming as big a deal. And I could have handled it better. And I acknowledge that in that interview and I'll acknowledge it now. But if I could contact you directly and you respond to me directly, then it's done.
Yeah, I mean,
Me and BG don't.
you definitely did like say like that I probably shouldn't put it out because it doesn't show Sam in the best light. But if you recall, I cut Sam off and I said, "Yo, watch what you're saying because this is all getting put out. Like everybody's gonna see this." And then he just kept going.
Yeah. Well.
So I mean, I honestly, I'm looking back at it. Like I said, I'm gonna put snippets of it out. I might not put everything out, everything that was said. But overall, it was an entertaining interview. So
Oh, it damn sure was.
I don't want to just let that one go to the
Damn
side.
sure was. It damn sure was. And a lot of people, for better or for worse or for whatever the case, probably want to see it. But like I said, like people think I have an issue with him, but I mean no personal attack whatsoever on him, no attack on his character whatsoever. Everything I mentioned was something that happened or we thought happened.
Yeah.
I didn't make any character assumptions or attacks. So that's just so for people to think that I have this beef or issue with him, I don't. As like I said, I just don't like how certain things went about. The situation with Cherry really bothered me. And it really bothered me because and I'll be a little transparent here. When he went to Vegas with me for a week, I got to see a side of him that I didn't see before. And I got to know some things about him that I didn't know before. And he's a kid with all his talent. One thing could send him in the wrong path. So I'll be real with you. I'm a little more protective with him than probably some of the other kids downtown. Like him and probably Tyler, I'm really more protective with because I've known guys that were like that had the talent, that were good kids and just didn't have the right breaks and went down the wrong path. And I don't want that for Cherry. So that's why I'm so like Jalen's good. I never worry about Jalen. You know, Louis, once he was in St. Ray's and he was committed to doing what he needed to do, didn't really worry about him. You know what I'm saying? Like there's a lot of kids I didn't worry about. Like he's a kid like I'm up at night like, damn, is he gonna go to school? What's he gonna do? Like to the point where I had to kind of like fall back because at the end of the day, this is his life.
Yeah.
He's gonna do what he needs to do. And I'm getting kind of emotional about it because like I said, I really do care and I love these kids. But like I said, I only can give them guidance. I can't force them to do stuff they don't want to do. Yeah. So that's why I kind of went overboard with that. Even to the point where like I said some things I shouldn't have said. And once again, I'll apologize to Marcy because I didn't know her. I didn't really was ever really talking about her, but she felt the way about what I was saying, which I understand. I wasn't never taking shots, but like I actually do text and do talking to her, the little conversation we did have, commended her for what she did because she didn't have to do that. And this is one of the things like I kind of get frustrated with the whole LES United movement. Like, what is your actual mission?
Yeah, I mean,
Like,
so let's talk about the beginning of that.
Yeah,
So let's talk about what LES United, to my recollection, what it was supposed to be. So we spoke about this a little earlier. So for me,
yeah,
when we had our first meeting, it was, to my knowledge, it was about Pupa, because Pupa was trying to put together a AAU team, and he was having tryouts where he was charging kids, and um like, from what I remember, there was some mishap with some funds, and there was a trip that the kids never went on, or something. I don't remember all the details to it, but I know LES United, it started because Pupa was trying to do something, and if certain people felt that it needed to be more organized, especially if we were involved in the Lower East Side kids. So, and we have all these influential coaches in the Lower East Side, so let's just build this program and do right by the kids. And everything sounded good. Like, even from the first meeting that we had, everything sounded good. So, I mean, the goals that was set in place as far as providing for the kids in the community, and helping them get into schools, and using our resources that each of us had to provide a program for these kids, like, everything sounded great. It just didn't turn out that way. And then when it came to adding you to the mix, like, even before you was even asked to be a part of it, like, I felt that it wasn't gonna work with you, and it was nothing against you, and I made that very clear. It was more so,
yeah,
what we were trying to do, you were already doing. So the only thing that we could get from you is what you had to offer that you was already doing. So you would have to pretty much be, I guess, giving us things that we needed to get to where you were at. You know what I'm saying? Like, certain players, certain tournaments that you already had connections with. Like, you would give us your spots for certain tournaments. You know what I'm saying? So, like, you definitely were there for LES United. And, like, I don't remember exactly where everything went left at for you and us. Like, I'm formerly part of LES United too. Like, I don't know exactly where everything went left at. I don't remember where everything went left at. I just know that it went left.
it went left. A little bit of that was bitterness because, like, I was really invested in what we talked about in those meetings. Because, like I said, I always wanted there to be something where the kids from lower have something to look forward to, right? And then be separate from what I'm doing. I had no problem sharing resources because people share resources with me.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be where I am at if people didn't, if people closed the door on me, especially my own brothers from the Lower East Side. So I had no problem helping out. But, like, my thing is, if that's what you wanted me to do, you could have just said that. You know, like, I thought the goal was we were supposed to help kids that weren't already in a good position get some spotlight, be able to play in these tournaments, be able to get showcased and get seen, giving them outlets, maybe potentially coming to AAU. And I also remember me and BG multiple times saying, listen, it's going to be baby steps. And I think one of the problems I see, and a lot of people use this as a cop out, they say, oh, well, we can't do nothing down here because there's too many programs. That's bullshit. There was way more programs when I came up. That's complete bullshit. Mm-hmm. There was way more programs. There's enough talent down here. The issue is I feel like everybody wants to win now, and no one's willing to take an ass whipping for a few years or for a season, let the kids develop, let the kids get better, and build up. That's what I did. We wasn't going to tournaments and winning like gangbusters. We was going to tries to getting smoked. We was going to ISA and getting smoked. And eventually that turned around where, like, we were in position to win championships or consider one of the championship level teams in many of the better tournaments. You know, say, but we weren't coming out as gangbusters. And a lot of these guys I had guys in 8th grade playing 17, 19U because I was trying to develop them. So I think that's like, it's baby steps. It's not gonna happen in 1 year. Even AAU, like, you gotta start putting money to the side. You gotta start building relationships. You gotta know what tournaments to go to. You gotta have insurance. There's a lot of things that go into this, and people just think because they see someone else do it that it's easy. And I think that was the main downfall. They thought it was just gonna be easy, and it's not. And my issue, like I said, like, I got gyms for LES United. I gave up my spots in a lot of tournaments. got you guys the same discount or deal I would get if I played in it. So like I'm going out my way and I don't really need to do it. I'm doing it out of love. So when you feel like you're getting, betrayed in a sense, and I'm saying because like now I'm looking at stuff like they'll come to my games and they'll take a picture with a kid wearing a Team Mega shirt, no tag, no nothing, and they'll let you know all over the place. I'm like, wait a minute. Whenever y'all have something, I put it on my page. I tag y'all. I've told people to follow you. Like I'm putting out energy for y'all, but I feel like that was giving back in return. And the funny thing is,
you didn't get the acknowledgement. Got you.
And the funny thing is, I wasn't the first person to notice this. Other people brought this to my attention. I was like giving them the benefit of, maybe they don't know what they're doing. I don't know who's running the page. It's not being done. But when it keeps happening over and over and over, that was strike one. Strike two is now you're telling me what I can and cannot do. Like, don't say this, don't do that. I'm like, wait a minute.
Yo, I was one of them. I was saying, yo, chill, don't be saying that. Don't say that. Come on. I mean, because I'm the keep the peace kind of guy. Yo. Like,
no. I'm talking about like I would post stuff like, you can't be posting that because you're down with us. And I'm like, okay. Like, it's one thing you come to me like, okay, maybe that's not the best way to say it, Arnell. And I was like, you know what, you're right. I'll change that up. It's how you come at me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So like now you feel like you're trying to control me. You're not giving me no acknowledgement. And then I remember I was at all those meetings. I was calling in. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. I'm trucking from Connecticut to get down here to make the meeting. I'm always responding to the text. And then I'm seeing like what we talked about, we're not doing,
yeah.
And then when I'm saying that in the text, I'm saying in the group meetings, people looking at me like I'm crazy, like I don't know what I'm talking about. So that was the strike three. Then the situation happened with Kareem. Like when I was coaching, when I was helping coach, I was help coach out. Didn't have to do that. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna get into the details. What he said. I'm not gonna get into that. But that was like my last straw. Like I'm good. Like I don't need this headache.
Yeah,
and other little things happen.
Big blow up, and you wasn't even supposed to be coaching.
Like I'm helping out. Like I'm. All I said was pretty much him. Like, he played a pretty good game. I didn't say anything to him the whole game. And also, like, he was getting really upset with the guys. Like, listen, Kareem, like, they see you as a leader. You got to be a little better than that. Then he just blew up at me, which means there was some resentment there already. Because I'm saying in the same tone I'm saying it to you. And he's like, oh, well, you say nothing to nobody else. I'm like, Louis and Justin almost had a fight. DeMons was bugging out the whole game. I was talking to them. I was really coaching the game. It was to the point where the guys on the other team, because if my boys from Brooklyn was like, yo, Meg, you good? Everything all right over there? Like, now we good. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's because they know I don't get like that.
Yeah, I mean, but
as a coach,
like, nobody from watching that game, nobody was really having a good game.
Like, guys had moments, I should say. Guys had moments.
Yeah, I mean,
but you playing like there were 8 Division I guys on that team. Y'all playing BK Stompers, who's like they pretty much won every tournament I think that summer. So you're playing one of the better programs in the city, where they have multiple studs. So that happens, and like that's the point. So you guys get some lumps, get some better competition, see where you really at. That's the whole point of this, right? So like I went in, I wasn't even mad that we lost. I was just like, us tearing each other down, not helping. And that's all I was really trying to say to him. But then other little things like, for example, there was a rule that we had that if a player decided they didn't want to play with LAS United, even though I was pushing all the kids like, Jalen, no, you can't play with me, you got to play with them. No, I'm telling all the kids this. Right? And the kid's like, okay, this is the rule. You got to text AMR, you got to text Sam, tell them you don't want to play with them, you can be playing with, so everyone knows what's going on. That rule was never reciprocated. So now I'm coming to the games, I'm like, so-and-so just played 3 Grizzlies in this tournament on me. Why is he playing with y'all? And there's a kid that y'all really didn't want anyway. You know what I'm saying? So like that kind of rubbed me the wrong way. So there was multiple things going on. Then as the years went on, I just saw more and more stuff. Like there's another thing that Sam said that I didn't get. Like he said, I don't support the local tournaments. And I'm like, don't I have multiple championships in all the local tournaments? I have championships in PPL.
You support
like I played. The only time I didn't play yours is I couldn't make it that one time. And in my bad for not telling you. And I told you too late. That was on my part. Not very professional on my end. But playing your tournament, playing Pupa's tournament, playing 3 PPL. I coached in Chosen. I coached in Showcase when they had the high school division. So what local tournaments I'm not supporting if I have championships in them?
Yeah,
Like the trophy's in the crib. So, but how many local tournaments? But how many local tournaments LAS United playing other than LAS Express, which they got the family discount, and Hamfish because it's free.
Family discount. Yo, shout out to BG, man. Let me get a bomb for you one time, BG.
Oh, of course,
discount. What? That wasn't no family discount.
Oh, he did? Well, you didn't pay full price. You didn't pay regular price.
I don't even think we paid, bro.
So that's a family discount. That's even better.
That's what I'm saying.
They just had to pay rent fees. So that's why when we had this conversation, I'm like, so why are you not funding them to play in other tournaments? Why are you playing PPBL? Why ain't put the team in Football's League? You see what I'm saying? So like, I feel like you're contradicting what you're supposed to stand for. And I'm going to say something about that. Because if I'm doing the same thing, I expect to get criticism. Yeah. If I'm saying about the kids and about kids getting to school, and I got 8 kids on my team that fell out of school and they playing, that goes against what I stand for, right? So you're supposed to say something.
That's a fact.
So like saying I wasn't supporting, the downtown local tournaments, pretty much. And I just kind of like remember him saying that, and I'm like, Sam, what are you talking about? Like, you mean the same tournaments that I won? Got 2 championships in the LES Skills and Drills. I won LES Express twice, been in the championship twice, 4 times, 4 out of 5 years, 4 out of 6 years. So I'm like, what is he talking about? And I've been rocking with most of these tournaments since day one. The only reason why I didn't play 3PO earlier is because it was he did the in-house format. So I'm like, but you guys are not playing those tournaments. You guys actually were using their permit for the part that they were using and trying to upstage them in their own tournament. Like, so like there's certain things was going on. So like, when I'm saying these type of things, you could feel away, but I'm not saying anything that's a lie. It's not sensational. This is the truth. People felt like a certain way. Like, listen, like we're letting you rock out here, and you acting like this is your park. Like, you know what I'm saying? And you're not kicking back any money. Oh, that's what I was saying. Talking about like playing in different leagues, like they weren't doing that. Yeah. And like I said, my thing is I'm trying to help kids use basketball as a vehicle to go to college and improve their lives. That's what I'm about. That's what I'm doing. So, and there was one summer where I think I kind of went away from that because I was a little concerned about winning because it was a contract. So let's put it that way. I had some secret companies talking to me. I know if I had that endorsement, it would allow me to go AAU sooner. It allowed me to do more things for the kids. And I kind of was a little overzealous. I was overzealous where I was like, I was calling the hitters and kind of like not giving the guys that put in that time and effort with me the respect and time that they deserved. And I felt the way about that. And I did it for 2 or 3 games and I just stopped. Like, you know what? This ain't me. If I got to do this to get where I wanted to get, then I'm not going to do this anymore. Like, I'm going to stay with the guys that have been in the gym with me and been putting the time in with me.
End of the day, man, you got to win. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, but I can win with those guys.
It's personal business. Yeah. It's your program. You got to win.
Yeah, but I mean, my program is all about 85% of the kids that I coach, that I train. And not many guys can say that.
No, it was crazy.
I'm winning
but that's one thing that you said. That's one thing you posted was if you play for coach for Team Mega, then you train with Team Mega. You know what I'm saying? Like you said it plenty of times. Like, don't come to me asking for a spot when I have multiple workouts a week and you don't show up.
And some of those multiple workouts were free.
Yeah, so it's like if you want to play for me, you gotta come train with me and the rest of the guys on the team. And I think it was real simple because even if you didn't play, you got a free workout in. So It was a win-win. End of the day, win-win. You know
so that was, and so the kids that like someone like Justin felt the way one game because Justin comes to every workout, and Justin, I think the lab work got him really. He got a lot better. His ball handling got better. His shooting got better. His footwork got better. And he was playing well. Then one game, I bring a couple of guys that I know from left rack that can go. Both of them played divisional basketball, and they played way more than he did. And these are guys that don't necessarily come to my workouts for a plethora of reasons, but the guys I have personal relationships with. And he felt the way, and he should. And I said, you know what? I'm not doing this anymore because that's not fair to him, and that goes against my creed. of what I said I'm going to do.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And this goes back to like the LES thing. Like, if I just wanted to win, that's what I care about. Like, I love my guys on the Lower East Side, and I want to have them, but I don't necessarily need to have them to win. And I want people to really listen to this clearly. I'm not saying I don't want them. I love having them. I want to help them, but
Yeah.
I don't need them. I want them. There's a difference.
But anybody that doesn't understand that is just trying to find a negative in what you're saying.
Yeah, because I've had 4 or 5 star level guys. Yo, Mega, can I play? That's the problem. I would love for you to play. You're taking away minutes from a kid that I'm trying to develop.
Yeah, that's understandable, man. Like,
You're playing the same position as so and so. I'm trying to get him better. That doesn't help him out because now you coming in, you're taking minutes away from guys that put in work. Now, if you play a different position or I'm shorthanded that day, that's different. But I'm not going to bring in a guy that's going to take minutes away from someone that's been putting in work for me all year. That's like, a kid's been averaging 20 points a game, and I bring another kid that's better than him. But you've been getting the job done. That's not fair to you.
yeah. Yeah.
You're getting the job done. So why would you see what I'm saying? So you want to bring guys that kind of fit your culture and fit into what you do. So, I always thought that was kind of like, funny in a way. Like, people like to say things, but there's no, like I said, there's no foundation to the words. They're just words. But like I said, I did a few things out of character, and people put me to the side and told me, like, I said, you know what? This ain't me. I'm not doing this. I went my way or no way. So, and like, end of the day, it was never all about winning anyway. It's about development. Winning is getting you guys into school and developing you guys. I think a lot of this is something missing in New York, period. No one really wants to develop. That's why there's so many trainers. Like, why is all these trainers? Because the coaches are not doing their due diligence. Like I said, 85% of the guys that I have are in the gym with me. Jalen's in the gym with me.
There's so many trainers right now that these kids are not taking advantage of. We didn't have that growing up, man.
Yeah, but but all these trainers are not putting in good work. A lot of them are just in it because it's a quick, easy buck.
Cool. A lot of them are not putting in good work, but then there's a lot of them that are. And what I'm saying is,
indeed,
a lot of these kids are not taking advantage of it. They just want the highlights to just naturally happen overnight. Nah, that's not how it works. Unless you're just a natural athlete, that's not how it works. There's behind the scene pain that's being put in, and you're not seeing that. You're only seeing the highlights on Instagram. But they're working, and these kids need to work.
Well, I say that about NBA guys all the time. They develop and get better every year. The stuff Steph Curry is doing now, James Harden, all these guys are doing now, they wasn't doing that in middle school and high school. It's a progression. They kept adding to their game. Like we both know James. The James we see now is not the James that I saw at 13 years old. Mm-hmm. He kept working. He developed. He matured. The Louis that we see now is not the Louis that we saw when he was 11, 12 years old.
Nowhere close, of course. I mean, yeah, he had to get better.
They put the work in, and it didn't matter. And my thing is, I don't care who you're doing it with, as long as you're doing it.
Yeah.
As long as you put in the work, and that's all that matters. So, people develop into that player. I think a lot of guys think these NBA players are just born like that. Like, nah, it was a process.
It's like I look at a kid like Elijah Bailey. He works out with everybody.
Yeah. And he goes to good trainers.
Yeah. So take advantage.
And he's gonna end up probably being 6'1", 6'2".
Yeah, that boy shot up.
So and he's a kid, and he's coming to Vision Academy. I already got him, but he's a kid that, once again, like me and BG been training him since off and on. BG more consistently than me since he probably was 9, 10 years old. The kid always was skilled. He was just small. Yeah. He always was skilled.
He just grew, so he's gonna be a problem. But your
little cousin. One last thing. Your little cousin. Gray? He got better. He was always had some natural talent, but he got better.
Jay Gray was always athletic, always had natural talent, and right now he's starting to like really listen. And he's starting to understand like what it's
maturing.
Yeah, like he's
maturing.
Woo.
You know why he's maturing? Because he got out the Lower East Side and play against other people. Like, oh, there's other people out here that's nice. I need to put in this work in. Being the best of my block means absolutely nothing in the big picture.
Yeah, at all. But one thing let's talk about real quick is I almost forgot to even bring this up. Vision Academy. Like, what is all that about? Because I know Howard from my knowledge, Howard was one of the I guess co-founders of Vision Academy.
He's the founder. Like he's the one that came up with it.
He's the founder. So shout
This
out, shout outs
yeah
to Howard for that, man.
yeah something me and him talked about. Like I always was down the line interested in doing my own academy. Kind of like bring things full circle. Like the next phase of my coaching. But what you call it? Just like he got it done earlier than I did. But me and him always talked about that. And just once again talking about those alliances I have with people that you never hear me say anything about Howard online. Why is that? Because me and him talk pretty much every day. Every day. Me and him talk every day. We don't always get along on it. We get along, we don't always agree on everything, but we could talk and come to some type of resolution or, whatever the case may be. But he came up with it and he's seeing like this, all these kids in New York City that have all this talent just went to the wrong school, in the wrong situation, getting the wrong academic advice, don't have film, not playing against good competition, that if we were able to give them these things, they would be scholarship level players. And that's where he started. So we more or less, we cater more to the kids from the New York City area, but we do have kids from upstate, kids from Long Island, kids from Jersey. It's in the city. It was going to be in Manhattan, but because of everything going on, our main facility is going to be the BK Post in Brooklyn, and then we'll have an office not too far from where the kids will be taking classes online. So there's a situation like if you're a kid that has talent, academically you're doing what you need to do, or academically you need some help, we're the doctors for you. We can help. We think with our coaching and the schedule that we play, it will have the opportunity to play at the Division II or Division I level. That's the goal. We're going to help you get into school. You're going to have film. You can play against quality competition. So, yeah, I'm still recruiting. I was doing recruiting today. I told you, like I was talking to Wise about Elijah England. Trying to get him. I feel him, DR, and Elijah Bailey would make a great three-guard attack. They have another kid that's really talented. This kid, Jaden from FDA. He's about 6'6". He can do multiple things. Gonna bring him up, first guy off the bench. Got a couple of bigs. I'm still doing some recruiting, but I think we'll have a really good season. And it's like even if we don't win a lot of games, the film that they're gonna get is gonna help them get into school, and then the connections and networks we have with some college coaches is gonna help them get into school. So that's the whole thing with Vision. And Howard knows, people don't know, but he has a lot of connects higher up connects in the basketball world. He's just really humble about it. So we got a really good schedule. We're pretty much playing a NESPAC schedule, Power 5. So we're playing the Woodstocks and the Putnams, those type of schools. And there's 4 prep teams. I think that's a little bit too much. That's something we didn't agree on. I thought 2 or 3 would have been enough. But there's 4 prep teams: Prep 1, Prep 2, Senior National, and Post Grad. I'm the post grad coach, but really they're all just names. All the teams are pretty much the same, talent wise, and what type of players we're going after. And then there's a high school national team, who hopefully, if everything still goes according to plan, it's going to play Oak Hill this year. So that's a good look.
Yeah, that'd be a great look.
So that's what's going on with that.
That's a big look.
And then with the chance of them not being a PSAL season because of COVID and the way it affected the Department of Education's budget, we might have some more kids coming in. It might be a pipeline for more kids. So that's what we're just doing, just giving kids another opportunity to help them achieve their goals through basketball. So I was already down for it. I would have, like I said, I've said this a few times, a few other podcasts. I think I said it with you that if it wasn't for me having my son and me moving to Maryland, I would have been helping him out last year.
Yeah.
So and I'm very excited for it. It's my first head coaching job on the high school level. I've had great success as an assistant at Berkeley Carroll. Won a state championship. We've been national ranked a few times, so I'm really looking forward to things.
Hey, yo, shout out to Nell for becoming a father, man. That's big moves right there, man. Shout out to Nell for making it happen, man. Sal, man, a little late in life, man. A little late in life, but you
it worked out perfectly. Yeah, I'm still healthy and strong. It's all right. And we're already thinking about having another one. We're waiting till our day gets a little older.
Yo, we ain't never gonna see you again.
Oh, they'll be with me. He's already into basketball. Like, there was a game I was watching James play at UConn. I think it was his second game. I think the game went to double overtime. And this little dude, just wouldn't, I'm trying to feed him, and he's a greedy little kid. I'm trying to feed him, and he's caught up in the game. I'm like, yeah, I got him. I have a little ball on my hands. Yes.
Yeah, nice.
But One thing about being a father, I like it kind of resets you into your natural personality. Like I think we go through so much in life, and we're conditioned to behave a certain type of way because of the ills of life. When you become a father, you just be your natural self. I feel like so if you're naturally a nice person, nurturing, all that stuff just comes back out. So I mean, blessings to my son for like kind of reawakening a lot of these things because like you go through the trials and tribulations of life, it kind of makes you a little bitter and a little hard around the edges. So like having the son kind of like makes you open up once again to like who you naturally are. Like I could just be myself with him. That's one thing I love about being a father.
Yeah, that's dope, bro. All right, we're gonna get to the last segment of the podcast, man. We're gonna
Yes,
call
sir.
this. We're gonna call this a little bit more about Mega. All right, so I got a few questions for you. Give me your honest answers, honest opinions. All right, so what was your game high, your career high at any age, any tournament? What was that?
77 in middle school.
77 in middle school. Oh, you
Yeah.
did mention that, and I don't care who you played against, what level they were. If they was the same age as you, then they were food. 77, 77. I don't care how you look at it. They was on the same court as you. I'm not letting nobody put up 77 on me. I will foul out just trying to get you out the game.
40 of it was on steals though. Like 40 of it was on steals. There's a steal layup, steal layup, steal layup. Like I don't even know why. I don't even know why our coach. I don't know why my coach left me in and
Because
let us keep pressing.
you was on the road to get 77. That's why he left you in.
That's my career. I had 60 a few times. I had 50 a few times, but 77 is my high.
Let's make some noise for 77, man. All right, so next question. Let me see. If you had the opportunity to put an NBA 5 together, 5 players that you feel no other combination of players could beat, who would those 5 be? At any point in the NBA, not just today's players.
In their primes, in their primes.
In their primes, any players. You can use players from today, players from back then. What 5 you think? No.
I like this 5 because they're versatile. We have length, speed, athleticism. All guys can do pretty much anything on the court. So I'm going with Jordan, Kobe, T-Mac, Kevin Garnett, and Tim Duncan. Just the versatility alone.
So
That's not the best 5, but that as a team, that's a quality 5.
So that's the team you think nobody could beat if you put another combination of 5 together?
No, I don't think anybody beat them. T-Mac in his prime, Kobe in his prime, Jordan in his prime, Tim Duncan and Kevin Garnett in their prime. Good luck with that.
Right,
we can switch everything.
That's a question. That's a question I'm gonna put out there to everybody else too, because I want to see what their responses is. You're gonna see about that tomorrow morning when you wake up. I'm like, yo, this is Mega's 5, so we gonna figure.
That's
out.
my 5.
That's my 5. Cool. Let's move on to the next question. What do you think?
Hold on a second. I'm gonna plug in real quick. My computer about to die. We both having equipment issues.
Nah, this interview went longer than I thought. I was only trying to get it hour and 15 minutes. We pushing 2 hours.
Yeah, I ranted on some things. My bad.
Nah, listen,
that's some stuff I had to get off my chest.
It's good. Listen, BG's interview went, I think, 2 hours and 15 minutes, man.
Oh, I know B definitely has some things to say.
Yeah.
They be coming sideways at my man. I don't even know why.
Yeah.
They be forgetting what he used to do. Shit.
He had a few flex bomb moments, man. Like
I bet he did. BG talks his shit, and he should. So, a lot of people forget his body of work, and I don't know how they do it, but it is what it is. I think because we was in the lower at one time playing in other tournaments, guys forget what we was doing.
Yeah, that's pretty much what it boils down to. All right, so next question. Who do you feel was the most entertaining shooter of your time? You could have
period,
period. You have players from back then when you were younger, or players that are current.
Oh, talking about NBA guys.
NBA guys.
I'm gonna have to go Reggie Miller.
Reggie?
The antics after the shot, the clutch shots, the Reggie Miller. We were just talking about this someone as a shooter.
Yeah.
Had to be Reggie. Period.
I mean, if we're talking antics, I like my man Novak. Novak had the joint.
Yeah, but he wasn't in the league long enough for me. He needs more body of work.
No,
Reggie's
I get
putting in
it.
that pain in for a while.
I was just talking about antics. Like I like the double
But
check joint.
I like the bow down in front of you, the choke sign. Like Reggie
I
knew how
mean,
to get under people's skin.
like even LeBron James got the. You know what I'm saying? Even LeBron got something.
No, so him and probably Kobe. Kobe had some antics after he put on some people.
Steph Curry had the shimmy.
Yeah, I like Steph Shimmy, but
Steph had
Reggie
the
was
shimmy.
doing that. We forgot Reggie and Mark Jackson used to do that.
Well, I think for me, even though he probably wasn't the same type of shooter as Reggie Miller, but I like Ginobili. I like a Ginobili, and I like
he's a bad man.
Yeah, I like a Ginobili, and I like even a Peja. Peja still.
I don't remember Page really doing much of a celebration. He just kind of quietly killed you.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like he didn't have a celebration. He was just, you better guard up, because he gonna knock that down.
Don't leave me. If you leave me, you're gonna pay for this.
Yeah,
Count that. But those are shooters. Like someone that's a shooter to me is like when you leave them open and they miss, everyone's surprised.
Yeah.
Like that's a shooter to me.
All right, so next question: who's your favorite player of all time?
Kobe Bryant.
Kobe Bryant. Make some noise for Kobe Bryant.
Rest in peace to the Mamba.
All right.
Into Gina. So it's his, yeah. So that was because like I got to see Mike, but I didn't really understand ball when I was watching Mike when he was in his prime.
Yeah.
My level of basketball was different. Understanding and Kobe's not that different much in age. Like he was a senior when I was a freshman in high school. So like he was a dude, like he was just a bad man. Like just his mentality on the court, off the court, the work he put in. Like I really admired all that. It's just how he respected the game.
Like, you remember that commercial that Kanye West and Kobe Bryant had, and Kobe said, "Are you the same animal but different beast?"
Mm-hmm.
What the hell does that mean?
He's pretty much saying like what I said earlier, like you're just saying person, but sometimes you got to transform into a different type of beast when you perform. You know what I'm saying? Like you're the same person, but you're transforming into something else when you perform. That's what I took from it.
I guess.
like it's like an alter ego type of thing.
Yeah,
like Batman's still Bruce Wayne, but when he's Batman, he's a bad mother. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah. Now, every time
that's how I took it.
Every time I hear Kobe gets brought up, I think about that commercial when he said, "Are you the same animal but different beast?" And Kanye goes, "Kobe Bryant, what the f are you talking about?" And he says,
"Because when you hear beast, you think of beast is like behavior. Like when you say beast, like that's a behavior of an animal. So that's how I took it."
Yeah, I just laughed at it.
Yeah, he probably was being funny. Like one thing I did like when he retired, like you got to see a different side of him. A lot of people didn't see as a player because he also fit that profile. When he played, he was a certain type of person, and people didn't really see how he was off the court. So he was just that person all the time. Like who you are and what you do are not the same thing. That also kind of correlates to what he was saying in the animal and beast line.
Yeah.
Who you are and what you do is not the same thing. All
right. Let me see. 2 more questions. So, who's your top 5 players of all time?
Magic, Jordan, Jabbar. Gotta throw him in there now. You gotta definitely throw him in. LeBron. And for me, it's a split between Shaq and Tim Duncan. Those are my top 5.
Okay. So I mean, out of those players, did you ever like mimic your game after any of them? Like who would you mimic your game after?
I stole some stuff from Magic, but players that I took stuff from were guys were usually like more around my size. Like I said, like Allen Iverson, Seth Marbury, Steve Francis, Kenny Anderson, Dana Barros, Mahmoud Abdul-Rauf. Those are guys, Baron Davis, guys that were my size, my build. I really looked to see how they created space, how they used their body, how they got into gaps. And like that's something that I brought into my training where like I saw how they were effective, and then all I'm doing is replicating it and teaching it to somebody else.
Okay.
Tim Hardaway. Stole a lot of stuff
I,
from Tim
I was
Hardaway,
getting ready to
actually.
say. I was getting ready to say, little Timmy. I see a little Timmy in you, bro. I definitely seen the little Timmy
That
in
was
you.
one of my favorite guys at one point.
Like even a,
Especially in
I,
those,
I even see a little bit of a Chauncey Billups in you.
yep. I got the comparison a lot too. Chauncey's I stole stuff from. Like he's not fast, but he is strong, gets to his spots, doesn't use a lot of wasted motion, right to business.
All right, so this is the last question. Um, what is your favorite sneaker of all time? One sneaker, if it came out every single year, you would have to get it. Like I asked BG the same question. He said it would be the Jordan ones, red and black.
The playing or just the chilling?
Nah, just all favorite sneaker of all time.
Oh, you hurt me, Mel. That's it.
Like I'm only gonna ask this question to somebody I know that had a
It's a
lot of
sneakerhead.
sneakers.
Oh my God, you hurt me right now. Yeah, Nike Town was good for me. Oh, oh damn, that's the Jordan 3s, black and red. The Jordan 3s are probably one of
black
them.
and red.
Yeah. I bought them probably 3 or 4 times already.
Okay, yeah, I like those.
So that probably be one of it's tough. There's a lot of, and we were just talking about just straight basketball though. My favorite basketball sneaker of all time is the Kobe Zoom 4s that I missed out on because they kind of stopped selling them.
The reason I didn't pick basketball sneaker for this question is because there's so many basketball sneakers. Like you said, the Kobe Zoom. What you said, Zoom 4s?
The 4s, yeah.
Yeah, fam. I don't even know what those look like. Like because I
The
see
joint-
like 4 pair of Kobe's, 5 pair of Kobe's.
The joints that I posted a picture of on Instagram, the blue joints, the birthday joints, those are them.
Okay.
Those are like my favorite basketball sneaker of all time, performance wise, look wise, everything. Like chill out shoe is tough because I'm an Air Max 95 guy. That's just a tough question now. Like I need time to prepare for that.
Yeah, like the reason I asked BG the question because BG had over the years has had multiple sponsorships. So the question I will always ask BG is like, yo,
yeah.
like why you wearing this sneaker? He was like, yo, because they paying me right now. So I had to
Ain't nothing wrong with that. I mean, ain't nothing wrong with that. I was rocking brand black, even though the brand black shoes were real good for basketball. I was rocking them out because they're giving me free pairs and just throwing me a little cash. So and I was trying to get a sponsorship from my program, but they're actually good shoes. Then I had Adidas, and now I'm kind of doing some things with New Balance. But their shoes actually, at the end of the day, like if a shoe's shitty, I'm gonna say a shoe's shitty. I don't care. At the end of the day, yeah. So if you see me posting it up, or it means the shoe's of quality. You know what I'm saying? Even if it's just a performance shoe.
Fact. All right, cool, yo, bro. That's gonna wrap up this episode, man. Once again, I appreciate you for coming on, man. I appreciate you being the person that you are, being the blunt person you are, the genuine person that you are, man. And I ask that you continue to keep providing for the youth, man, because that's really what you're doing right now. You're training, you're coaching, you're helping them get into school, you're staying on top of them, you're mentoring them, and I just really hope that you continue on that path because you found your calling, man. Like I'm saying, like everybody started off playing basketball, had hoop dreams of making it to the league or playing professional, but that wasn't everybody's path. That wasn't your path, and you're on your path right now. And I commend you for everything that you do, brother.
Appreciate it. Like I feel like this is my way of doing God's work. Me helping young men out, helping them become, pillars in our communities. And it's not just all kids. Like I don't really do the race thing. Like I'm with helping anybody. May I favor people in my positions or in positions that really need help, but it's not a race or color thing with me. Basketball is one thing I feel like unites us all. I have friends of all types of walk because of this game.
Yes, sir.
So you got to keep that going, and more than ever in these times where we need unity, in the human race, period. So appreciate the interview. Love coming. Whenever you need me on, let me know. I love coming on. Love talking about these type of things, and we also could talk about more important things, But like I said, thank you for having me. I appreciate it. Got to get some things off my chest. Yeah, and hopefully that opens up. One last thing, like, and I said this before, like, I know I come off very combative and whatever, and maybe a little aggressive, but I have no problem sitting down and having a conversation with anybody. about any issue, because if we don't communicate, all it does is misinformation and words unsaid fester and build into bigger things that become harder to untangle. So I have no issue with talking about things. So, and I like talking directly. But like I said, at the end of the day, I'm gonna say what I need to say, and it's gonna be heard. So I can say it to you, or I can say it to everybody. The choice is yours.
Yeah, that's why I said, man, yo, just keep being you, brother. Just keep being you. You doing
Yeah, but
something great in life.
Yeah, at the same time, I am planning on moving a little bit differently and not investing so much energy on certain things that just don't need the investment. Like at the end of the day, like you kind of know your worth. At this point in time, if you don't think I'm a good coach or good trainer, it's like, oh well, I'm just gonna keep on pushing.
And those are some Arnell facts. All right, bro. Yo, until next time, man, I'm gonna definitely have you on another show, man. But this has been a great interview. I got to learn a lot more about you. We got to talk about a lot of things that has happened, and you got to speak your truth on it, and you gave your opinion about certain things, and I appreciate you just being honest, bro. All right, so until next time, my brother, I appreciate you again. Keep being you, keep doing you, stay black, be happy, be blessed, man. All right?
All right, man. Appreciate you. Talk to you later. Easy.